Picture this, an intimate gallery in a quaint Alaskan town. Canvas stretched floor to ceiling with 22 artists adding their own splash of color and creative flair to form a single wraparound panorama of mural art. This is the Kenai Art Center Mural Show, and it is quite a thing to behold. And hey, you just might recognize one of those muralists at work. Come on in and experience this unique event with us. See how this mural turns out in the end, and get to know the town of Kenai, Alaska in the process. Welcome to Kenai, Alaska. Perched on a bluff right where the mighty Kenai River meets the Cook Inlet, Kenai has a rich and deep history. Its story tells of resilient people, trade and cultural exchange, grand voyages, and a key present-day role in Alaska's economy. And of course, one of Alaska's most famous salmon runs. Every year, anglers flock to the Kenai River for some of the best salmon fishing in Alaska. Alaska residents use the resource for subsistence, dip netting on the mouth of the river when the plentiful sockeyes run. But Kenai is not all fishing. It is also a vibrant arts community, and at the heart is the Kenai Art Center. And that is where this story begins.
All right, this is my spot.
In normal times, the Kenai Art Center is a gallery space and gift shop featuring the work of local artists. Right now, it is transformed into a giant collaborative art studio to be shared by 22 artists over the next 7 days. The Kenai Art Center's mission is to inspire a vibrant community through the practice, teaching, and appreciation of the arts on the Kenai Peninsula. Through exhibitions, workshops, events, and a gift gallery full of local art, the center promotes the arts by nurturing artistic expression, cultural awareness, and community engagement. This event does exactly that. The center walls have been transformed into a giant wraparound painter's canvas, ready and waiting for the creative touch of local Alaskan artists and a few visiting artists. The canvas has been divided into 24 sections. Each artist has 1 or 2 spaces to work inside. They can stay completely within their zone, or they can collaborate with their neighbors on shared borders. Artists have complete creative freedom, except, of course, for the guided principle of this year's theme, Down to Earth. This is the 4th edition of this event, but the first time it has the theme. I don't know about you, but we are mighty curious to see how each artist interprets this theme differently. How will the final mural turn out? Will we be surprised? There's only one way to find out, so let the colorful fun begin. The artist will be at it for 1 whole week, and the public is welcome to come on in and watch the progress as it unfolds. With the exception of a few out-of-town participants, the artists in this room are from the Kenai area. Local talent brought out of the bubble of their own art practice to showcase and weave their work together. In our 4 years on the road, we have never seen any other event like this, and we love it.
I'll paint with colors, and I'll sing until my lungs give out. I'm gonna let the sun shine in today.
To make the creative flair of this event even brighter, a few pedestals are being wrapped in canvas as well. They will be placed as mobile murals throughout the gallery, displaying the work of local sculptors and 3D artists.
Oh, I will open up my eyes so I can see the light. Oh, and I'll try to spread my wings so I can fly. Oh, and the darkness starts to fade. Feels like things are gonna go my way. I'm gonna let the sun shine in the day.
The amount of talent in Kenai is inspiring, and we can't help feel every town is like this. Every town is filled with more talent than we realize, and if the opportunity is given, as it is here, we will always be pleasantly surprised by the sheer amount of gifted individuals in our communities.
Oh, I will open up my eyes so I can see the light. Oh, and I'll try to spread my wings so I can fly.
And now we come to the corner of one of those visiting artists. Let's see how he is interpreting the theme down to earth. Well, as you know, we have a certain connection to this area, springing from our friendship with Dave and Jane, who warmly invited us to their fish camp this year. It has been a fascinating journey for us, learning about salmon, their life cycle, and the role they play in Alaska's past and present. You'll see where I'm going with this.
Oh, I will open up my eyes so I can see the light. Oh, and I'll try to spread my wings so I can fly. Oh, and the darkness starts to fade. Feels like things are gonna go my way. I'm gonna let the sun shine in the day.
While the artists work away, this is a great opportunity to zoom out and get to know Kenai a little more. The Arts Center is located in Kenai's Old Town District, where many threads of the town's history weave together. Here in Kenai, we brush up against a page of Alaskan history we have barely explored, that of the role and influence of Russia. To explore this story, we must start from the beginning and head to the Free Museum at the Kenai Visitors and Cultural Center. This land has always been home to the Dena'ina people, who had numerous settlements throughout the region. These rich lands furnished not only salmon, but also the fruits of an estuary environment where the Kenai meets the sea. An estimated 300 Dena'ina inhabited this bluff around the time the first foreigners explored the inlet in the mid-1700s. Those first explorers were Russian. However, they didn't establish a trading post here until after a certain explorer charted these waters. In search of a northwest passage, Captain James Cook sailed up the inlet which now bears his name in 1778. He did not find the passage, but did find locals willing to trade fur, adding to the coffer of pelts already amassed during the voyage. Those furs were later sold in China for an enormous profit, helping spark the maritime fur trade. In 1791, Russian fur traders established a post here on this bluff, which remained in Russian hands until Alaska was sold to the United States in 1867. That was enough time to establish cultural roots that remain to this day, most visibly here at the Holy Assumption of the Virgin Mary Orthodox Church. Built in 1894, the building is one of the oldest Russian Orthodox churches in Alaska. While it is a National Historic Landmark, it is not simply a relic of the past. Regular church services are still held here today. A stone's throw away sits the Chapel of St. Nicholas. It was built in 1906, right where Kenai's first chapel was erected in 1841. The town's first priest, Father Nikolai, took charge in 1844, and this chapel now covers his grave. There is something so symbolic in the combination of the Orthodox dome with the hand-hewn logs of an Alaskan cabin. Now that's quite a bit of history for now, and as you can imagine, there's still some ground to cover. But first, let's scurry back to the Art Center and see the artist's progress. It is now days into the painting process, and already the space looks so different. The space is a bona fide art studio now. The atmosphere here is warm, and the sense of camaraderie is strong. Laughter and conversations ebb and flow, feedback and tips are shared, and undoubtedly there are some creative sparks being lit as artists get to witness each other's style and process. As a bystander, it is so interesting to see everyone in their own process with their stations set up completely in their zone. How often do we get to witness so many artists at work all at the same time? Members of the public come and go. Everyone is enjoying watching the progress unfold. Some are even on a scouting mission. The mural show will be on display for a whole month, and artists have the option to put their section up for sale. So some community members are taking this opportunity to scope out any pieces they might want to buy. Jose's piece is finally taking form, and his interpretation of Down to Earth is finally starting to reveal itself. Do you see it? And there it is. Of course. What is more down to earth than the life cycle of Pacific salmon and the role they play as a keystone species in Alaskan ecosystems? After spawning and ensuring the survival of the next generation, Pacific salmon do not return to the sea. They die at their posts and their bodies return to the land. A keystone species is a species on which most or all other species in an ecosystem depend, either directly or indirectly. If a keystone species is removed from the ecosystem, the system will undoubtedly face dramatic change. In Alaska, salmon is that vital and important. The nutrients provided by their bodies form an invaluable input into the system. And so Jose is painting two salmon, a male and a female, in spawning phase, their bodies just beginning to disintegrate and go back to the land. There's also something about the Alaskan relationship with salmon. Alaskans don't go to the grocery store to buy salmon. Here, if you want that long winter supply of salmon in your freezer, you catch it yourself. You pull on your waders, you work for it, you catch your own food, you are part of the food chain. This relationship with the land, with providing for yourself, is distinctly down to earth as well. We see that same spirit of living from the land at the historic cabins dotting Kenai's Old Town district. And that brings us back for a little more history. The buildings at the historic cabin park were once scattered across the wider area that makes up the town of Kenai. They were brought here for preservation, and the park has welcomed visitors since 2010, offering a glimpse into life in Kenai prior to something quite big that happened in the 1960s. The late 1800s saw the rise of canneries in Kenai, and fishing served as one core economic driver through the turn of the century and beyond. These cabins, most built between 1900 and 1925, allude to a time when a homesteading fishing town atmosphere prevailed. And then, everything changed. On July 19, 1957, oil was discovered nearby and a boom ensued. It changed the game. Alaska's first governor himself stated that the discovery provided the economic justification for Alaska's statehood, which came 2 years later. Exploration kicked into overdrive, and the 1960s saw the discovery of major on- and offshore fields in the Cook Inlet, as well as Alaska's far north. The platforms dotting the Cook Inlet speak to the continued role played by oil and gas in Alaska. That role simply cannot be understated. Between 1959 and 2022, the state collected nearly $274 billion in petroleum revenues. Where did all that Cook Inlet oil and gas come from? Well, remember in episode 26, we talked about how the Cook Inlet Basin has been squeezed and folded under all the pressure put on by the geological pileup that is South Central Alaska? Well, when rock folds this way, the bend is called a syncline. When it folds this way, it's called an anticline. Anticlines make ideal hydrocarbon traps. Their structure facilitates the accumulation of hydrocarbons into one focused reserve that can then be tapped into. According to the USGS, every known oil and gas field in the Cook Inlet is due to anticline hydrocarbon traps. So imagine, every drilling platform on the Cook Inlet marks the crest of an anticline in the rocks far below the surface. Back at the Art Center, it is so fun and interesting to stroll the room and see how each artist is interpreting and paying homage to the theme of down to earth. Even students from Kenai Alternative High School are paying a visit to learn and connect this Arts in Action event to their education. Their art teacher, Anna, is actually one of the mural artists, which must be pretty cool for them to see. This is another example of the value of this event and the role played by the Kenai Art Center in the community. It's not simply a place for displaying art. It is a place for creating connection, sparking ideas, and opening up the door for learning and conversations. The week is almost up, and it's touch-up time. The room has been completely transformed. It is incredible what artists will do when given space, time, and a supportive community. Now all that's left to do is to celebrate. The community comes out in force for the grand opening. It is a great evening with live music, so many smiling faces, and a room bursting in color. Can you imagine if every small town hosted an annual event like this? Imagine the local talent that would come out of the woodwork, the friendships that would be fostered, the creative and professional collaborations that could be sparked. How amazing would it be if this episode inspires even one gallery or art center out there to start their own mural show inspired by the work done here in Kenai? And now here is where you get to sit back and enjoy your own private viewing of the Kenai Art Center mural show. Soak up the details, marvel at the diversity in style and color, and ponder how each artist internalized down to earth. Take it all in, and we'll see you next time on Art We There Yet.
I saw a glimpse of coloring. It knocked me off my feet. I thought I saw a spark in your eyes. Desperately and far away, conquered all my needs. And I put all the way aside. Faces come out of the rain, lowering the sea. We know better now. Let it be. I know we can't hold on, make it all worthwhile. It's
Hey guys, if you enjoyed this video, be sure to give us a like.
Subscribe to our channel.
Send us a comment below. And for exclusive content and a behind the scenes view of the Art Be There Yet journey,
Join us on Patreon.
see you over on Patreon.